is up, YouTube? I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. I don't know if you could tell from the nasally sound of my voice. I've actually been pretty sick because I live in Texas, and Texas can't decide whether it wants to be hot or cold, and every time the weather changes, I get like these horrible allergies, and I feel like garbage, so I apologize for no uploads. But I am in a draft league. I'm sure if you guys have been seeing the watching the latest streams, I always talk about Discord going crazy and everything like that, because the draft was going on. The draft is over. Yeah, so this is my first draft league. It's basically like fantasy football or whatever. You basically draft Pokemon with other coaches in the league, right? And then you battle on Showdown, and then you have playoffs and everything like that. So it's pretty cool. It's my first time. Now, I'm not gonna go super in depth because I haven't been on the Showdown ladder like consistently all the time, so I'm not some sort of like super authority on what is the best, what is top tier, and what is not, blah blah blah. But I tried to pick a good team. So real quick, let's just discuss the Pokemon that I picked. So the first Pokemon that I wanted to get was definitely Mega Charizard Y. Throughout the draft, I didn't want to chance it on like picking Pokemon that I didn't really know anything about. One of my favorite Pokemon from Gen 6 into 7 was Mega Charizard Y, simply for drought. You can have stuff like Air Slash, you can throw defog on it, but you don't really want to defog because when you're playing Showdown, especially just like OU or just like 6v6, you don't want to have ×4 weakness to Stealth Rock, you know, using defog. So what else can we do? You can do Fire Blast, you can do Heat Wave, which is one of my personal favorites, but I've been throwing Flamethrower on there. You can actually, one thing that I like about Mega Charizard Y is you can throw Solar Beam on there, which is pretty good for like water coverage and especially rock coverage, which it's quad weak to rock. You can also, I believe, have Tailwind on there. You can have a bunch of different stuff. I like to throw, sometimes I like to throw, instead of Tailwind, I like to throw Ancient Power on there, I guess. I don't know. Oh, I'm spelling it wrong, that's why. Yeah, you can also throw Ancient Power on there. So it's a pretty good Pokemon, a really solid Pokemon that I'm really familiar with. I use a lot in doubles. But this is singles format, and like I said, this is my first draft league, and I'm also brand new to that, so I just went with what I know. Another one that I managed to pick up fairly early on was Melodic, and this isn't in draft order, by the way. I don't remember my draft order. I have it on the spreadsheet, but I'm not going to look it up. And it doesn't really matter. Melodic, in my opinion, is a super duper good bulky water type with that 125 special defense and a pretty decent special attack. So basically, I mean, you know what Melodic does. You can do Toxic, you can throw on Protect, whoops, if I could spell, you throw on Protect, you can do Scald, you can do Recover. Yeah, it's pretty standard. You know what Melodic does. I mean, just, you know, this is your special wall. Now, sort of a wild card that I wanted to use, and this is sort of my fun pick, was Alolan Exeggutor. You can actually have Harvest with Citrus Berry, which in the sun, thanks to Mega Charizard Y, actually allows you to 100% of the time get your Citrus Berry back. And then, yeah, basically it's got okay special defense and okay defense with max HP investment, and then my little super secret formula for defense and special defense. You actually take Moon Blasts and I believe Dazzling Gleams from the Tapus fairly well. Now, you're not going to take an ice attack. You're not going to take an ice shard from like a Weavile or something like that, or you know what I mean. But it's a pretty good Pokemon overall. A lot of people will say it's bad, but if you manage to get Sun and Trick Room up, it's actually really good. I think it's really good, but then again, I've played with it a lot, and you might not have played with it a lot. But so, Alolan Exeggutor, sort of the wild card, also looks pretty ridiculous, and it's one of my favorite Pokemon from Sun and Moon. Another Pokemon that I wanted to try out that I didn't really have a lot of play time with, that I just wanted to play with, like, period, is Lycanroc, and mostly for Accelerock. 40 base power physical rock move, and it has priority, which is pretty good. Also, Lycanroc has 112 base speed and 115 base attack. So you can Bandit, you can Choice Scarf it, and that Accelerock is going to end up doing a lot of damage. You could also Life Orb, but yeah, anyway. I really like Lycanroc, just being that fast rock user, having that priority, especially with stuff like, you know, other Charizard around, or any of the flying types that are super annoying in this metagame. One Pokemon that I really had to pick up, even though it's quad weak to Ice, and there's some other Ice Pokemon in this league that were drafted that I'm actually kind of scared of, is Landorus. You guys know what Landorus does: Intimidate. You can throw on U-Turn and cycle out. You can have this Life Orb. You can have Focus Sash or whatever. Yeah, just a really strong Pokemon that I'm super familiar with because I used it a lot, and so we'll see how it does in this league format. Cobalion was sort of my answer to the fairy types. I like the idea of having like a decent speed, decent, you know, defenses overall. I mean, special defense isn't that high, but you can do AV, you can throw AV on it. Anyway, I wanted an answer to, you know, the Tapus or what have you. I basically wanted a decently strong steel Pokemon that I could just throw in there as an answer to, you know, whatever Tapu or whatever thing might come up. So I picked Cobalion because a lot of the better steals, like I think at the time Scizor was already taken. There were some other steals that were already taken. Ferrothorn's gone. So yeah, I chose Cobalion. Not the worst choice I could have picked. Obviously not the best. But with 108 speed, yeah, I figure I throw a Scarf on there, or I could just Bandit or whatever. But yeah, you guys get the idea. So let's move on to the rest of the picks. A Pokemon that I really like, mostly just for its defenses and its ability to stay around for a long time, as well as its ability to intimidate other like physical threats, is Scrafty. I really like Scrafty. You got Drain Punch, you can Fake Out, you can do whatever you need to do. Scrafty is just a really good overall utility. Now it is quad weak to Fairy, which is super duper annoying, but we do have some Fairy resist. We also have some pretty bad Fairy weaknesses on our team, but I just brought Scrafty once again because I'm familiar with it and it's a great utility mod. Alolan Raichu is another Pokemon that I wanted to pick up just because Raichu was really good in the VGC format, and Alolan Raichu just adds Psychic, so I thought it'd give me some pretty good coverage against a lot of the poison mons that are running around to counter fairies. So it's sort of like a weird niche pick, just in case I need to come in and, you know, I throw specs on here, or I can just max out speed and special attack and just nuke whatever poison Pokemon is trying to counter, you know, fairies or anything like that. Avalon for me was a sort of a hard pick. I was going to go for Regice, but I realized that I have a lot of special defense and I don't have something that has enormous defense. I have Cobalion, which is okay defense, but I wanted something that could just laugh in the face of any physical attack. And for me, that's always been Avalon. I used to use this Pokemon a lot, and people would ask me, like, why are you using Avalon? It's garbage. But it has a decent attack stat and has a really good defense stat. You can also do Ice Body or Sturdy, making sure that if with Sturdy, you can come in on something that you're going to be weak to and at least survive. It also gets Recover. You can do Rest. It also gets Avalanche. Meaning that it doubles its attack power if you go last, and Avalon being really slow, Avalanche is a really good pick with that 28 base speed. Also, I saw a lot of other people potentially wanting to use Trick Room in the draft, so if you're wondering why I picked like kind of slowish Pokemon, not the fastest Pokemon I could have picked, that's the reason, and I think Avalon works really well in Trick Room. I didn't have any fairies up until this point, and I decided I wanted a pure fairy. I didn't want Wigglytuff. I went for Clefairy with Magic Guard and Unaware. I thought that those were a lot better than, I think Wigglytuff gets competitive, and then there's another ability that I forget about. but I wanted Clefable basically as like a cleric. I know I kept saying Clefairy, but I wanted Clefable as like my cleric, my generic fairy that can go in and do work, maybe Encore or Aromatherapy, or throw on like, you know, a Dazzling Gleam or a Moonblast or whatever. Just something that can go in as a hard counter to anything that is going to hate to see a Clefable there, because Clefable is really, really good. Yeah, so there's that. I also went with, for my final pick, Meowstic M with Prankster. I know it also has Infiltrator, which is a good, it's a good ability, but its attacking, its offensive stats aren't really good enough to take advantage of Infiltrator. So mostly I'm probably going to be using Prankster. But you get Prankster Heal Bell, you get Prankster Calm Mind, what else? Prankster Dual Screens, right? So I figured I need some more utility mons. I have Scrafty and I have potentially Raichu and Clefable, but I wanted a solid utility mon that I could throw in there in Prankster shenanigans, and maybe, you know, turn the tide. You also get Gravity. What else? Yeah, it's just, for me, it's just a really solid Pokemon that can go in and Prankster some stuff. You can beef up its defenses, and it actually stays in for a pretty long time. Especially in VGC, I used it a lot, and it's a really, really great utility mon. Anyway, I know this video is kind of like sort of informal, but I am officially the coach of the Texas Tyrannitars. There's my little logo. I'm sure you saw it in the thumbnail. I'm going to be using a different logo for Draft League. This is one that I just came up with. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're excited to see these IDL Draft League battles. I am super excited. I've never done anything like this before, and so I can't wait. I think my first battle is going to be this weekend, so I'm going to be recording that and showing that to you guys. Anyway, thanks for bearing with me being sick and nasally and awful. Anyway, that's pretty much it. You guys have been great. I have been the MrDangerMoss, and I will see you next time.